Ladies and gentlemen, it is that time, the monthly Master Duel Power Ranking Update. We take all of the tournaments that we hosted this month in March, a little bit slimmer because, of course, I took that break in March, so there isn't going to be as many, but there is enough to pull valuable data. We had Damage Step 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, and 14, as well as Yugioh X DLE Master Duel number 4 event. All of those tournaments will be represented in today's data. Now, for those that don't know how this all works, first place, you earn 6 points. Second place, you earn 4 points. Third, fourth, 2 points. And then 5th through 8th, you earn 1 point for your deck. This counts for 8th place and above decks, rather than top 32 decks, to try and get the strength of decks rather than just random decks that top. Your deck has to top and then actually has to go far in the tournament to be considered a good deck for this tier list, power ranking list, whatever you want to call it. Let's get into it. 5th place from a massive drop from last month, February power ranking. They were in 1st place. They are now in 5th place. One thing I have noticed in Master Duel that is much easier to do than in Duel Links is to carry a single deck to that 1st place arena, if you will. There are so many more lines of play. There is so much more to decks that if certain players are not playing a deck, it will not receive kind of the same level of representation in the power rankings. We saw players who played a shit ton of Drytrons simply not play the Drytrons in tournament play. It was more other people were playing it. You could see 55 representation, so people still played it. It's just those people that are known good Drytron players were not bringing it to the scene. They just flat out weren't playing. It's a slow month, can't blame them. It is what it is. But you can still kind of extrapolate that the deck itself, the actual power of the deck, isn't really that consistent. Sometimes it pops off and it's the 1st place deck. Sometimes it doesn't and it's the 5th place deck. Still on the still top 5 deck though. Don't get me wrong. Still top 5 deck, but it definitely kind of goes to show you how good a good pilot with a good side deck kind of is better able to operate with this deck rather than, you know, just any random person being able to pick it up and do very, very, very well. So there you go. Drytron still here at 5th place, but definitely losing that 1st place representation that they had. Following up with, oh my lordy, is that pure Zodiac? Yes, sir. Somehow Pure Zodiac with a 5 representation was able to get multiple top 32s. You can see 3 top 32s over there and 60% conversion rate up to the top 8. That was actually another stat I forgot to mention. You could see top 32 conversion, 29%, so not so great for the Drytrons there, but 60% as 5 people were able to carry this deck to 4th place by 1 point on the power ranking. You can see Buns in the finalist of Damage Step number 12. A lot of people like to play pure Zodiac without the Tri-Brigade engine. They just like to go in raw with this deck, and to be honest, it really does work. It's just a bunch of hand traps. As you can see, that the Crossout Designator works very well, of course, and then it's just a bunch of X-Seed monsters in the deck. So it's pretty much, you know, last month we had just pure Tri-Brigade top, not Tri-Zoo, and then this month it seems to be pure Zoo without the Tri-Brigade. So they're kind of interchanging there. Basically, what is the hand trap deck of this month? Turns out it was Zodiac this time around. Next up in 3rd place, we have the Emancipators being able to make it 3rd place this time. I think last time was 4th place, but similar pointage. If I'm not mistaken, last time was around 14 or so. You can see 52 total representation with 32 coming up into the top 32 and 5 of those making it to the top 8, 29% into a 10% conversion. This deck is, you guys know my opinion on it. It was very underrated when it first came out, and then people started picking it up, and I saw, hey, it doesn't do well into Max C, and the other current, just this metagame just doesn't fit Emancipator that much. This deck has had so much controversy around Block Dragon, around Buster Lock Union Carrier, and should it be nerfed, should it not be nerfed, is it doing well enough? It's still a top 5 deck, but the way people talk about it, you would expect it to be even doing better than it currently is. But third place from fourth place is still a good climb. People showing good representation with it. I'd like to see what happens to this deck after a ban list, if we get a ban list, because some of these upcoming decks might be the ones to kind of hit. But yeah, Emancipators, Buster Lock is really powerful. Kawaki Guardian's really powerful. If you're able to grab him, gives you an early negate. You really need that early negate to kind of deal with Max C and other potential hand traps in the metagame. And then, of course, Block Dragon, just a casual plus 80 million cards. Why not? Just toss it in there. We'll see if any of these cards end up getting banned. Second place, Virtual World. Oh my goodness. I think Virtual World was 5th place last time. And this time they were better able to streak, just straight up being able to better streak here. 66 representation, top 32, 20 of them made it there, with 7 making it to the top 8, 30% conversing into the top 32, and 11% being able to make it there to the top 8. Virtual World, I think I for the first time ever, I'm actually starting to see the deck do more plays than just VFD pass. I'm actually seeing people sometimes pass on Shin plus the Crocodile Pop, you know, just kind of changing it up, if you will. And I'm excited to see what this deck can do if VFD gets banned, if the Calamity Dragon gets banned, because let's be realistic, it's probably going to get banned. On-demand floodgates are just not fun to deal with. Everyone can agree with that. And it's banned in the real-life physical format, in both formats in physical life, so chances are the deck's going to go, and it is exciting to see that the deck continues to be able to make plays. Shinshin, of course, sending cards from the field to the banish pile immediately is very, very strong. I love to see it. And I think this is just a kind of switch places with Drytron, right? Drytron was kind of that deck that was, those certain pilots were able to take it far. Certain pilots are able to take Virtual World very far as well. There's a very clear difference between someone just spamming VFD and someone actually using their deck and making plays with it. So another deck I'm very excited to see how it will look post-ban list, because this deck does have plays, and I do want to see what they can do once they lose Calamity Dragon. And then, of course, first place, you know it, I know it. Holy cannoli, we got our first place winner with 33 points. It's not even close. Everyone else just way far behind compared to my boys Tri-Brigade, Zodiacs. 106 players, everyone's playing this deck. 39 of them ended up in the top 32. 37% conversion rate with 12 in the top 8, with 11% conversion rate there. Yeah, I mean, this deck ultimately just has the most first places, right? A lot of points, first, second place. That's where you get majority of your points, and they were able to just collapse. Last time we saw Pure Tri-Brigade, and we saw Tri-Brigade Zoo, if you combine them together, would have been the highest points. But this time, the Pure version was nowhere to be found on the top 5. We'll actually look at the rest of the statistic to see where they ended up. But the Zodiac version is pretty much what everyone's playing right now. It is by far the best version. You can play your hand traps. The Crossout Designator is such a clutch card, being able to stop very problematic very problematic hand traps like Max C. Our entire meta shifts around Max C, or rather revolves around Max C. So having access to a card like that, very, very clutch. Basically having free forbidden droplets by being able to banish the Tinkies and whatever else, flipped up Revolt, is very powerful. And then, of course, the Zodiac engine is so tiny. Zeus is such a powerful card. It's just awesome to be able to play that. And then you could just side in your hand traps, right? You could basically flip between Zodiac and Pure on a whim with no real problems with how much side deck cards you get. It's very, very, very simple to do so. Looking at the overall representation, you can see how many of these decks ended up entering. You can see Bird Up had quite a bit of representation, as well as Prank Kids. Neither of them being able to make it on the list. Eldritch, we see a lot of Eldritch play, but very rarely does it convert in our tournaments. Pure Tri-Brigade, 21, so they were still being able to play Dinos, Madolches, Ignister. You can see all that on there. And for Noble Knights, actually kind of popped off, got to the finals as well. Standings, overall standings, you can see, I might make up a follow-up video talking about the meme decks that are on the overall standings, but very quickly you can see past Drytron There was the Infernoble Knights. Infernoble Knights did not win any tournaments. They had better placings. That's why they ended up being on 5th place rather than Infernoble Knights, even though they have the same score. Ignister, Prank Kids, Tri-Brigade Melfies, and then normal Tri-Brigades all the way down there with Bird Up still underneath it. You can kind of see as it goes down. You guys let me know. Would you like a meme deck power ranking where we talk about all of the decks besides the top 5? I think it'd be a cool video. Hit me up in the comments. Let me know. Top 8 conversion. You can see all the decks that made it to the top 8, how much they converted. Infernoid, 100%. These are always the meme decks are always gonna have better conversions because usually like one person that makes it that far. And then the top 8 finishes. You can see all of the top 8 decks that we had. Again, you can see those Prank Kids, the Eldritch. No Sky Strikers. Sky Strikers was just invisible in March. It was just not around for the March metagame. And that's pretty much it. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Hope you enjoy the top 5 decks that are in the current metagame. This is all probably going to change very soon with the new cards and hopefully new ban list. Like, comment, and subscribe. Leave a comment down below letting us know if you want to see more of these types of videos. Till next time, boys.